I love a good reset, and I also love a good digital system. But between moving soon, prepping to start a new chapter, I realized that I needed to kind of beef up my digital systems a little bit more to support those resets. So I'm continuing this little series I started on my channel called Build a System with Me, where I take you along the ride of building some of my favorite Notion setups to support my life. And if you guessed it, today we're going to be building my little reset hub, whether it be home resets, weekly checklists, monthly checklists, etc. With no fluff, just keeping it really clear and functional. So I'm doing my resets, I can quickly just go down the list with no distractions. So if your brain also feels like a browser with 27 tabs open like mine, and maybe you've been meaning to build your own reset checklist hub, then let's go ahead and do this together. Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amira, and around here we talk about mindful productivity, self-care, and soft systems that we can use to support an intentional life. Alrighty, I'm gonna stop yapping. I already explained what we're doing, so let's just go ahead and get right on into it. Alrighty, hello and welcome into my life hub. If you've been here before, you've seen this plenty of times before in other videos, so nothing really new here. I actually kind of want to revamp this sooner or later, just to make it a little bit more cutesy, more cozy, but this is what we got for now. Okay, so scrolling down to my navigation, I feel like this is where I'm gonna house all of my pages. I am going to hit the backslash page function, and then it's gonna open up a new page for us. I like to automatically just get my formatting good out the gate, so we're gonna change it to serif because I like serif right now, and then we're gonna go ahead and do a full width page. Here we are, and then we are going to call this just like reset checklist. Very plain and simple. And then what I'm gonna do is, I love a good cover, so we're gonna add a cover that I had downloaded previously. I get a lot of my images from Canva, and or I will ask ChatGPT to give me some images. So this is a ChatGPT generated image, just like a cute little brown moment. You can always reposition. It's just like this gradient effect brown. Maybe we'll kind of drag it to kind of show a little bit of the gradient here. Cool. And then we can add perhaps a little icon. I'll make that this little leaf for now. Okay, so like I said, this page isn't gonna really be anything too fancy right now. Maybe as time goes on, I'll add to it, make it cute. Right now I want to kind of just get into the main list. So I know that I want to do a home reset list. I want to do a weekly reset, monthly and quarterly. So I believe 4. So starting off with the home reset, I'm gonna go ahead and do a backslash just to start with my headers. So we'll do 2 columns, and as you can see here, if you click, we have 1 column here, and then on the other side of the page, you can see if you hover around, you can always like toggle, you can change. I can show you here, you can change the width of the columns on either side of the page. So let's go ahead and leave it like this for now. Then let's go ahead and put in our first header for our home reset. I like using heading 3. We'll do heading 3. We'll type in home reset. I like to do a little lowercase moment. I'm gonna go ahead and put in a divider. I like to make this italicized. We'll kind of play around with like the aesthetics and stuff, but color, I'll go ahead and click these 3 dots. And I want to add like a little background color just to maybe, highlight the headers, right? Make it really clear. Let's make it brown for now. I think that's kind of cute. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on either side here. So heading 3, we're going to do this one is a weekly reset. We have our divider, and then we'll do this. We'll add our color, 3 dots, brown. Okay, and then, so this kind of split the half of the page, right? I'm gonna go ahead and go down a little bit to where I might think that the second half of my resets, right, those other 2 will reside. So same thing here, just to kind of start to get the page mapped out and whatnot. This is gonna be what comes after a weekly, monthly reset, divider, oops, and I don't think it transfers. So what I'll do, since I want that to carry all the way down the page, I will go ahead and just put it under here. I'll put one of these guys in between, and then I'll drag this line. So see, if you drag it right at some point down the page, it goes back into the full width column, just a single column. I'm gonna drag it back up here to where it kind of set that up. And then what I'm gonna do is enter, and then hopefully it did not drag all the way down, but that's fine. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. We're gonna do quarter heading. We're gonna do heading, quarterly reset, not me spelling it wrong, quarterly reset. And then we'll go ahead and push it down here. So that's how I kind of do it. I'm sure there's a better way to do it. Brown and brown. Cool. It's looking real cute so far. How I'm thinking about this is I kind of want to have some themes around my resets, probably with the exception of a home reset. I feel like that's just kind of self-explanatory. Like you have your kitchen, your bedroom, your bathroom, etc. So, I mean, even with that, right, you can make toggles for each space. So that's what I'll probably end up doing for the home reset. For the other resets, I kind of want to build a theme around these. For example, the weekly reset is more so about kind of aligning out with the old, in with the new. And so thinking about how that relates to like resetting the mind, you know, planning for the next week, because I do like to do my planning weekly, scheduling in movement sessions, meals and grocery lists, just things that you would do kind of on the daily. That's what I kind of want to do here. And then for my monthly reset, I'm kind of more concerned about the things that I would more so reset on a monthly basis. For example, my content calendar, right? Like what kind of videos am I filming, for example, this month? I typically solidify that for the month so I can plan my other, you know, life activities around that. Maybe any digital declutters, maybe any appointments that need to be made for the month. And then the quarterly reset really is for more of a deeper reflection. So around this time, I kind of go through like, how did this quarter go? Did I meet my goals? Why or why not? Did things shift for me? What things are still resonating as I go into the following quarter? So I think that's how I'm going to go ahead and, you know, approach that. I'm going to utilize the toggle function. So first starting with the home reset, we'll kind of just list out the spaces in my home and then we'll go ahead and fill those in. So I think that just about covers it. What I'm gonna do now is open up each toggle and jot down those to-dos using the checklist. So let's do that. Okay, so here are all the things that I was able to brain dump. So I'm not gonna read through them all because it's a lot, but you can see here, I kind of just went through and tried to pull out the things that I usually do when I tackle each space in my home. So I think that's good for now. And if I miss anything, I will definitely go back and add it. I'm gonna close the toggle here. I think the good thing about toggles is that you can just hide the mess, right? So if I'm going into perhaps cleaning one space at a time, I don't necessarily need to have all of this open. I can just literally do it one at a time. So next up, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the weekly reset. And like I said, we have a kind of a theme for this. We're gonna do a mind and planning toggle. We're gonna do a body and wellness toggle. And then we're gonna do a space and systems toggle. So let's see what we got here. What I just did, you're able to mention a page within a sentence. So what I did was, okay, say, I'll just do it here. I want to update weekly planner. What you can do, you don't necessarily need to like type out weekly planner, but I just do because I want to remind myself to go ahead and add it. Say you didn't want to do that, right? Type out actually weekly planner. Don't have to. Just go ahead and backslash, type mention a page, and then type in the page. Mine is 2025 weekly planner, and then it'll link to that page. And as you can see here, if I hover over that, my weekly planner will pop up. And so that way I don't have to go hunting around for my weekly planner. I can just click and it'll take me there automatically. Alrighty, so we have that pretty much done. I'm gonna go ahead and close. Now we're gonna get into our monthly reset. So that includes our goals and some content and systems. Okay, last one we have here is our quarterly reset. So this is gonna involve a deep review, a little bit more content and business planning, and any lingering self-care tasks that I can think of. Alrighty, so we are, I think, pretty much good to go. I think I brain dumped mostly everything I could. I want to make these maybe brown. Like I want to make the headers brown and leave the text black. Can we do that? No, I kind of want these to be black. I'm just gonna go ahead and play around with the colors and stuff and add maybe a cute sticker or two from Giphy. Let's see. So I'm just gonna highlight. So I want this to be brown, but I want the rest of it to be black. I'm just gonna go ahead and triple click, bold, and then change the text color to brown, and then repeat for everything else. All right, so I have a few options here. Let me go ahead and see. I'm gonna go ahead and add an image. So backslash image, and then let's see. Giphy and Unsplash is more like still images. Giphy, of course, you can do GIFs, but I don't really find find too many transparent Giphies through this avenue, which is why I go on the website. I feel like this is cute to put in between. Ooh, yeah, I think I can crop it. I think that looks good. Save, let me see. There we go, I think. I don't know, y'all let me know. Does that look good? How do I make it bigger? Does it work? Let's refresh. Yep, there we go. Oh, maybe it does not work. Hold on, y'all. It was cute. I want to replace. I don't know, is that cute? I feel like it's kind of cute. And then I want to put maybe a little, maybe here. I would like to, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Now we might just be dragging it, girl. There we go. I was looking to center it. I don't know. Do we think that's cute? Just gives like a little bit of space in between each of them. I think it's cute. It adds something. It's cohesive in terms of color. Listen, when I put this out and you don't like it, feel free to delete it, okay? But I think I'm gonna keep it for now. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of review, again, for the sake of reviewing, what kinds of things you can find in this hub for when I post it. So part of my home reset, I have listed my main spaces. You can go ahead and, add things that you'd like, right? Your, patio, backyard, garage, if you have them, just kind of other areas of the house, maybe playroom, etc., right? So kitchen, right? We have, counters, dishwasher, and dirty dishes. I do that daily anyway. That'll be real crazy to do that like once a week. So stovetop and burners need to be done for sure on a weekly basis if I haven't gotten to it during the week. And then the microwave for any splashies, any appliances, of course, vacuuming the floors, etc., any fridge items that need to go. And then of course, taking out the trash and recycling, which is my fiance's job. And then bedroom, right? Stripping the bed, adding those fresh sheets, pillowcases, etc., clearing any clutter from any of our furniture, dressers, nightstands, all that good stuff. The floors, of course, because things can, dust accumulates. And then any laundry, should we need to do that. Bathroom, self-explanatory, toilets, countertops, floors, mirrors. I added my makeup brushes because I currently store my makeup brushes in my bathroom. I have a vanity in my bathroom, so just added that because I like to do that each time I reset my bathroom. And then we have our office, which is, just desk stuff, dusting keyboards, and, getting into the nooks and crannies, dealing with any lingering papers and files that I haven't attended to. The rug, because this rug is like natural fiber and it collects a lot of dust, so that needs to be done quite frequently. And then my plants, as you can see, they're thriving. I also lump this in with my office reset as well. Weekly reset, we have mind and planning, so I've gone ahead and linked my own pages here, but I will go ahead and clear that out, of course, when I share it, because you won't have access to my Notion. So right, brain dumping, reviewing my weekly planner, prioritizing what are my 3 focuses for the week, updating my content calendar as needed, as plans change and evolve for the week, tending to body and wellness, right? Planning meals in my little kitchen, my recipes hub, scheduling my workouts, planning just like a dilly-dally day. Sometimes I can't get to that every week, but at least a dilly-dally set of hours on a Saturday or Sunday, right? If I can. One fun activity, maybe a date night or friend night, a creative hobby session, at least one, and then choosing a wash day for my hair. Usually it's like a Friday night or a Saturday night or a Sunday night, but sometimes like you have things going on, and so depending on how my week is going to shape up, right, that's when I'll kind of insert my wash day. So usually the wash days might change. Spaces and systems, I have tidying of my workspaces, reviewing my routines. Sometimes I'm in the weeds and I don't really check off every single habit, even though I did it. Sometimes I don't enter it. Going through my emails, unsubscribing from any newsletters, refilling my supplements and my meds, any admin tasks that I need to do, bills, mail, any errands that I need to run. Monthly reset, we have reflections and goals. So completing my, thought starters, right? Reflecting for the month. Also clearing out my monthly action plans. I have a few videos on how I use my yearly planner to plan. And that includes, right, I have my overarching goal, then my monthly action plans that I, tackle each month. And then I'll have my weekly tasks, right? So here we have, you know, clearing out our monthly action plans, whether I completed them or not, and then creating new ones for the following month, reassigning any goals that might have shifted throughout the month, choosing a book of the month. Go ahead and check my Substack if you haven't already, updating my book tracker, reviewing my personal finance hub, and scheduling our check-in meeting with my fiance, Mike. Content systems, we have just planning content, actually putting into my calendar when I'm gonna film, updating any key metrics and analytics in my Notion, reorganizing key Notion pages if I need to, scheduling a self-care day if I really need it, digital declutter things that I kind of need to do that I didn't get a chance to do, and then updating any relevant like shared hub templates in, you know, the Notion hub that I share with you all. For our quarterly reset, we have a deep goals review, right? So we have our vision board check-in, seeing if anything needs to be tweaked, completing quarterly reflections prompts in yearly planning, and then doing like an overarching the middle of the year, right? If it's the end of quarter 2 or the end of quarter 4, then that would be a mid or end of year review, right? So if that applies, then I'll go ahead and do that. And assessing and reassessing any quarterly goals, corresponding with action plans and tasks, right? And then restructuring any Notion systems if I see fit. Content and business, I kind of like tackled a lot of that stuff within my weekly and monthly. So really for quarterly, it's just kind of a rough overview of the next quarter's content themes, what I'm kind of feeling, right? A lot of my content tends to be seasonal as well, right? So if fall is coming up, for example, I'm gonna be, you know, planning just kind of high level, a lot of fall content themes that I want to tackle, reviewing any metrics that I missed in my monthly reset, and then an overall quarterly trends finance review that I'll have with my fiance Mike, and then environment and self-care. Of course, a little home reset if I haven't done that in a while. I'll go ahead and just put that there as a reminder. Restocking any self-care, home, hobby supplies, and then reviewing and refreshing my routines if needed. So I feel like I might go back and add a few more. Now, if something changes, I'll definitely go ahead and amend this. But again, I'm gonna go ahead and share this in my hub. If you like it, you can keep it. If you don't, you can trash it. So yeah, we are done. And there we have it, our little reset page. I am so proud of it. I think it's really simple, clean cut, clear, no fluff. If you want to use this exact system that we built here together, it'll be free in my Notion hub. Just click on the link down below. And if you want to add your own little spin on it, add your own things, add some cute images and gifs and whatnot, feel free. If you liked this video, go ahead and check out my other Build a System with Me videos. I have 2 others on here so far. We have a book hub that we built together and also a creative cozy hobby hub, which I loved. So I hope this helped you feel a little bit more grounded, like you don't have to come up with things to do each time you want to do your reset. You just have all of the items that you usually do all in one place. If you want to see more videos like this from me, go ahead and subscribe, like this video first, and then click the notification bell so you can get notified when the next video drops. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I will see you very soon, and don't forget to stay mindful. Bye.